Hi, my name is Nooks.
Hi, I'm Ilham.
Hello, I'm Verity Firth.
I'm John Tran.
My name's a Perpetual Bird.
Hi, I'm Arif.
Hi, I'm Elsie.
And I'm Yaya. And today we're going to be answering questions about how we imagined our futures when we were in Year 8.
So John, first question, when you were in Year 8, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a chemist or a pharmacist.
Well, I actually wanted to be an actress.
When I was in Year 8, I actually wanted to be a human rights lawyer.
I wanted to be a football player.
What I wanted to be is a law enforcement officer.
The only thing I wanted to be was a good fighter and have a big body.
I wanted to cure cancer and also teach poetry.
Audio engineering, music.
What expectations do you have of your kids?
Well, now I want to be there for my kids, so the only expectations that I have for my kids are that they care about what they do and they care about all of the things they try to achieve.
With my kids, I suppose I just want them to be happy more than anything. So I probably am still a bit like my parents. Like, I'd like them to do some further education after high school. It doesn't have to be uni though. I'd be happy if they went to TAFE, as long as they were like doing something they cared about and actually made them happy.
We always told them that we just wanted them to be good people. So it wasn't about education, it was about being a valuable member of society.
For me, what I expect of my children is to be respectful member of the society, because growing up, all that I was taught is to be very respectful. And there was this saying my grandparents always told me, respect is the greatest gift that you can have, that is more than money that you earn.
What are some of the challenges you faced on your way? How did you overcome them?
Okay, so for me, I think some of the challenges that I faced on my way is that I struggle with a lot of stress. And so it was definitely hard, I guess. You know, in high school, I placed a lot of importance on my marks to the point where I thought it formed part of my identity. I identified myself by the marks that I was getting. How did I overcome it? It's something I'm still overcoming, to be honest, but one thing I think helped me a lot was just starting to come to a realization that you are not your marks, and your marks are just a reflection of what you're doing at that time, but they're by no means an indication of like your potential or how far you can go in this life.
I think challenges are really important to recognize, because challenges are everywhere in every shape and form. And with all these different shapes and forms, I have the weirdest challenge. So my biggest challenge was actually myself. You'd probably be wondering, what do you mean, yourself? Well, procrastination, laziness. That's all I really have to say. So I stopped myself before I could reach anything, right? So I had the talent. I luckily had the genetics of two very smart people to give me everything, all the tools that I needed, right? But I didn't actually use them. And it made me realize further on that, you know, hard work actually beats talent, because people with hard work will surpass people with talent that don't work, which was exactly what was happening when it was in year 11, year 12, because I realized, yeah, this isn't going to cut it anymore.
So one of the biggest challenges for me personally was the whole academic writing part, because I had no idea, right? I'm coming from a background where I didn't get the best English education.
Yeah.
And because of that, I focused a lot on my public speaking. I focused that a lot more on being able to do everything besides writing. You give me an opportunity to speak in front of 10,000 people for 5 minutes, I can do that easy. You tell me to do a 300-word essay, and I have 12 years to finish it, I'd rather die. How did I overcome it? I'm still trying to overcome it. It is a learning process. That stuff is really scary, but it's okay that I haven't overcome it completely, because I'm still learning, I'm still studying.
The biggest challenge of all, I'd say, was trying to get to my end goal or seeing myself in my dream career. I want to be a doctor, and I didn't think that was attainable. But after being in uni, you're still very scared. It still feels overwhelming, but there are a lot of pathways to get to where you want to, and that's really beautiful. You're still growing. It may feel like it's going to take a long time,
but you know, you're still developing a lot of skills and experience and just growing as a person along the way.
What advice do you have for students in managing challenges in life?
So my advice for students would be persistence, and I feel like persistence is an interesting thing to me. A lot of people think it's like just like, you know, waltzing through your challenges and not like giving in, but I feel like persistence to me looks a lot different. It can look like just, you know, holding your head up high, but it can even just be like you're crying because you don't know how to answer this like maths question and you have the exam next day. And persistence to me looks like, I feel so horrible right now, but I'm just gonna try again. I'm going to keep going, even if it's just one step at a time. So yeah, I think that would be my advice.
Yeah, I completely agree with all that advice. And what I'll add is that when it comes to life, challenges will always present themselves, right? So the most important thing is to know how to actually manage them, which is why we are here today. So what I can say is that when you have any challenge in any shape or form, the best thing you can do is to look at the challenge and take a step back, right? Because when you're in the challenge, you'll be stressed, you'll be having thoughts about it. But once you actually take a step back, you see the bigger picture and you realize, okay, so this challenge is actually pretty easy to get around. All I need to do is just break it down, do this part, then do that part. And then, wow, that challenge is no longer a challenge. But if you find that you can't really take a step back to look at it from the outside perspective, because sometimes the challenge can be too big for you to do that, well then I would actually urge you to speak to your friends, your family, your teachers even, because they're in positions where they can see it from the outside, so they can actually offer ways that you wouldn't necessarily see yourself. And yeah, I think that would be extremely important when it comes to overcoming any challenge. Well, that's it for us from today. Hopefully you can take something out of this, and I hope that this can help you imagine your futures.
We've had a lot of fun doing this today, and yeah, just remember, if you're going to take anything away, that you have so much potential, you have so much ability, and you can do anything you put your mind to. And if university is where you want to come, you're going to get there. And hopefully we see you on campus soon as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and good luck with your studies.